So this is the slightly different way of doing an Adobe Flash animation. Now this one is this tutorial here. It's kind of based on this one. Now with this one, the only thing to remember is you're actually doing it. This tutorial shows you how you do it in one color. So it's kind of a nice tutorial because it's a nice way of doing it because it's a slightly more realistic way of doing an animation. So it's very slow and it kind of, rather than the last method that you did, but it just takes a bit longer. Now, to start with, you actually would be better off with a vector, just to try it with a vector image, a proper vector image this time. Now this is a website called, I've just downloaded this picture from a website called FreePix. What I just typed into Google, just vector ice cream. On this site I just clicked vector, so every image that is on here is then going to be a vector image, which means it was probably drawn in maybe Adobe Illustrator. So it's actually not a picture, they are proper vector images, so proper cartoon images. When you go to Adobe Flash, so you do, as usual, File and New, and click OK. Now this time you do File, Import, like you did before, Import to Stage. So this is what I've downloaded from the FreePix website. It's actually downloaded a folder which was zipped. And inside that folder, okay, 3 different files. That is a JPEG, so that will actually be, can I double click on it? Okay. This one might actually not work because it is if I was to zoom, there go, that's not a vector because it goes very blocky. So I'll just zoom in. Okay, so I'll get rid of that. The other one, if I do File, there was 2 others, File and Import to Stage. The next one, okay, AI, Adobe Illustrator. So that one will be a vector image. Okay, and it's made up of all these different paths. If you've done the pen tutorial, you'll know what that is. Okay, so someone has actually taken the time to draw that using Adobe Illustrator. So I'll just click OK. Right, what you've then got is, I can zoom out, okay. So it's actually made 3 layers. That's the background. There's the words down the bottom, but we don't actually need them, so I can click on background. Can I click on background? Come on. Okay, background, trash, trash. So what I'm left with is the objects. Let's move that over. If we just take one ice cream cone, I'm going to click on Free Transform and just highlight everything. This might take time. You go Modify, Break Apart. Last time, first tutorial, it actually worked straight away. But it has to. There's a lot of different elements to this picture, so we actually you Modify, Break Apart. To speed things up, just Command and B, and you see it breaking up the image, and I think that's it. Modify. Okay, so when you can't do it again, you know it's been broken down. So I'm now just going to Free Transform. Just going to highlight top row, press Delete. And do the same. Okay, to that one, or those 2, and then highlight this last one. I'll just drag it back. Okay, just drag it onto the stage. So what you have says objects. I'll change. So if you call that one mask, you then make another new layer, and I'll call this one maybe brush. Okay, because this is what I'm going to use the brush. I'm actually going to use a brush to kind of reveal what's behind the mask. Drag the mask layer above the brush layer, and I should be able to then just right click and do mask, something like that, and unlock. So unlock the mask. And then when you click here, it should just show you the outline. So this is going to be an animation, so on the mask layer, I'll just do, okay, 15. Right click and do insert keyframe, or you can do insert timeline keyframe there. Okay, so at the moment There's nothing. So it's not an actual animation yet, that's just nothing. But at the moment, if I click on brush, I'm then going to want to unlock it, because you're going to use the brush tool and basically just brush the bits that you want to show on the first frame. So maybe on the first frame, if I click on brush tool, so it doesn't really matter. Now this is going to be the color that you're going to see, that your animation will be, your gelato or your ice cream will be that color. I'm just going to go with a happy red. Now one way so this is going to be, just zoom in. So on that frame there, just click there, click on brush, and then just do one little bit. Okay, and I'll just see what happens. Okay, so you see one little part. So there's actually a part of this, maybe that's like a shadow. It could be a bit that, it probably is meant to be a shadow, so I'll right click, insert keyframe. This time I'll just paint around that bit. Right click, insert keyframe, and then you just paint in over the bits that you want to actually show. Okay, so it's like, no, it's quite fast, so I'll just change that to, I don't know, 3. So this is how you're actually revealing the artwork behind it. I don't remember. This is going to look slightly strange because it's actually, I don't remember the original image having that actual, okay, so it's the shadow. It's actually the shadow underneath the ice cream, or just at the bottom. Okay, so it's going to look, might look slightly strange, but you just do insert keyframe, and then to speed things up, this is the bit that you would take time over. If I just do insert keyframe, I'm going to paint, so the bits that I'm painting, they're the bits that are going to show at all these different keyframes. So keyframe, it just means there's a frame in the animation that's key, which, you know, that's important, that something is going to happen. So I'm doing this. This is going to look very basic, but what you'll have in the end is an animation that will show a red kind of gelato ice cream cone that's showing. This is taken, so I'm just going to speed it up because the animations, the video is taken, so we're now on to 8 minutes, so I'll just quickly insert keyframe and very quickly do the last bit. This is going to look quite messy, but that is the theory behind sort of a slightly different method of doing it. So now I'll put one final keyframe there. So that is it. That is what you would get. So if you took your time on that, actually used the brush tool quite well, it could look quite effective. It would look a lot better than that. To do it so it's multicolored, that's what would take a little bit of extra time, but it's the sort of thing that you might actually be quite rewarding if you did it that way. So that's the colour of the ice cream. Probably what you would do is actually get rid of, so I mean this picture particularly is not that good because it has this, whatever that is meant to be, waffle or something. Okay, right, keep it simple, I'll just delete that. So that is now a slightly simpler way of doing it. So you would do, what you could do is the eyedropper tool, so you get the colour of that bottom bit of the cone, you take the brush tool, and on frame 1, okay, you do something like that. Frame 2, insert keyframe, and if I just do the outline. So what you're doing is then just, okay, so I'll just try that. Right. You're kind of trying to, I mean this is where you would really take a bit of time. You zoom in, basically at each keyframe, you're then using the eyedropper tool. You take the colour of the bit that you want to reveal, you want to show, and use the paintbrush, and then you just kind of paint that bit there on that frame. Okay, so you're doing something like that. This probably won't make you need to practice. If it's not making any sense, you just need to practice it and see what you end up getting. If I sped this up a bit, so insert keyframe, so I'm going to do another keyframe. Click there, so that's how you show the colour or just show the outline. Whatever that is. Okay, so you just click on there. So at each keyframe, you're showing a little bit more of this animation. So this actual picture is hidden, or in other words, it's masked. So at each frame, you're basically wiping out the mask with the brush tool. So for example, you got down to here and you're doing the orange that's on your ice cream. You do the eyedropper, get the colour of the orange. I'll do insert keyframe. And then you're going to paint away the mask, the mask layer that's shown it. So if I do that, it probably makes it easy. So that was the colour of the orange, so you would do something like that. Okay, the next frame, next one you do insert keyframe. You take the colour of the orange and then you do that bit. Next keyframe, you do this bit. And if you took your time over that, that is how you would get a very realistic animation. This is the sort of thing where the gelato would actually use. If we did this well, they would use it. You would see it on their website, you would see it. It's actually work that you've done that a real company is going to use. Okay, so that is something that would take time, but it would be very, very worth doing, very worthwhile doing. Okay.